Namaskar. How suspension system works in automobile. Introduction. Physics, the blessing as well as the cars. Well, the beginners, with the engineers are quite familiar with this code as we received both the blessings as well as cars from the nature. When we develop a technology or a machine, especially when we talk about an automobile, because the nature's physics is the biggest challenge we face. We always talk about engine and transmission system, which are the important system of a vehicle is equipped with. But have you ever think how the vehicle feels stable even at the high speed? Why don't we feel bumps while sitting in the vehicle? Don't the vehicle why do not the vehicle loses contact with the road even at the high speed or sharp turns? Let us find out. A suspension system is one of the most important systems of an automobile that deals with the dynamics of the vehicle. It is the intermediate flexible system that connects the wheels with the main frame of the vehicle. Suspension system is a combination of various components like knuckle or upright that have important angles like kingpin, caster, arms, or linkages, and shock absorber that comes together and enables the relative motion between the tire and the main frame. A, sorry, a suspension system provides stability to the vehicle in dynamic conditions like high speed, sharp turns, and braking. The shock absorbers used in suspension system prevents the main frame from the shocks provided by the rough road conditions by absorbing the shocks, which in turn makes the ride smooth for the passengers and the luggage. Why a suspension system is needed? As we have discussed above, that in dynamic conditions a vehicle faces many challenges like various forces acting on a vehicle while running over a road provided by the nature. So a suspension system is required because there is a need of a flexible connection between the mainframe and the wheels of the vehicle in dynamic condition that enables the relative motion between them without causing deformation to the main structure or any other components of the vehicle. A suspension system in a vehicle is needed to support the overall weight of the mainframe that includes the weight of the all mounted components along with the passenger's weight. A vehicle needs a suspension system to maintain the firm contact between the tires and the road, which in turn provides stability to the vehicle. When a vehicle takes a sharp turn, there is the tendency of the frame to roll along its lateral axis, which should be prevented in order to prevent the vehicle from rolling. So, a suspension system is needed in a vehicle that can prevent the vehicle from excess rolling. When the vehicle accelerates from its initial state, and when the brakes are applied in both these conditions, there is a tendency of the frame to roll along its longitudinal axis, due to which the wheels of the vehicle tries to lose contact with the road surface. So a suspension system is needed in a vehicle that can prevent the vehicle from excess rolling along its longitudinal axis. A suspension system works sorry a suspension system sorry a suspension sorry sorry A suspension system works with the steering system in a vehicle to keep the vehicle in a correct alignment that provides stability to the running vehicle. The kingpin and caster angles provided in a knuckle or upright of the suspension system allows smooth side to side turning of front wheels for steering the vehicle. The shock absorbers used in suspension system absorbs the shocks provided by the rough road conditions and makes the ride smooth for both passengers and luggage inside the cockpit. Types of suspensions used on the basis of the relative motion between both front and both rear tires. The suspension system is of two types. Types of suspension system: non-independent or dependent suspensions. A suspension system in which both the right and the left wheels of the front and the rear pairs of wheels are connected with a solid axle in such a way that the upward motion due to the bump in any one wheel of the front and the rear wheels pair causes slight lift in the other. The Dion tube solid axle types of suspensions are the examples of dependent suspension. This type of suspensions are used in many old trucks in which the front and rear pairs of wheels are connected with a solid axle. Independent suspension: a suspension system in which all the four wheels of the vehicle are free, that is, there is no relative motion in the front and the rear pairs of the wheels, which mean all the four wheels are connected independently with the frame, and when a bump comes either in right or left side of the vehicle, the wheel, either right side wheel or left side wheel in contact with the bump, moves forward without causing any lift in the other side wheel. Double wishbone MacPherson etc. Types of suspensions are the example of independent suspension. Formula cars that uses double wishbone type of suspension, and the normal passenger cars like Maruti Swift uses independent suspensions. The main advantage of using this type of suspension is that the surface contact between the road and the, either of the wheels is maintained throughout, which is the basic stability need of the vehicle. Main components of the suspension system: a suspension system, irrespective of their type, has some main components in common that are suspension system main components. Knuckle or upright. It is the component of the suspension system that is mounted over the wheels hub, through which the wheels and the suspension of the vehicle connect with each other by the linkages provided. A knuckle is provided with the kingpin and the caster angles that helps the front wheels of the vehicle to steer in right or left direction, which in turn steers the vehicle. A knuckle provides housing for central bearing, over which the wheels hub rotates along with the rotation of the wheels. Linkages are the rigid connections that are used in suspension system to connect the main frame of the vehicle with the knuckles of the wheels through mechanical fasteners. On the basis of the type of suspension used, linkages are of three types: Wishbone or AR. It is the type of mechanical linkage which is in shape of the alphabet A. The pointy end of the A arm is fastened to the knuckle, and the other two ends of the A arm is fastened to the main frame of the vehicle. On the basis of the application of the vehicle, either a single A arm or double A arm are used. Solid axle or live axle. It is the type of the linkage which is used to connect the main frame of the vehicle with the knuckle on the wheel. This is the solid axle causing the support that causing sorry casing that supports the overall weight of the vehicle. This type of linkage can be seen in trucks. Multiple links. Instead of using double wishbone or solid axle linkage, various high-end cars are adopting multiple link type of suspension, in which multiple solid links are used to connect the main frame of the vehicle to the knuckle on the wheel. Shock absorbers or springs. There are the flexible mechanical components that are used to absorb shock provided by the road condition, and is placed between the linkages wishbone, solid axle multi-links, and the main frame, such that the road shock is minimized before transmitting to the main frame of a vehicle. On the basis of the application and type of suspension used, shock absorbers are of many types that are spring and damper type shock absorber. It is the type of shock absorber in which a pneumatic or hydraulic piston known as damper is used that provides damping by absorbing the road shocks. This damper is surrounded by a compression coil spring, which is a elastic mechanical constant that compresses and force is applied by the bump and recoiled back or regains its original shape and size when the force is removed. It is used to maintain the surface contact of the tire with the road by providing stiffness resistance to compress. Also maintain the damper at its original length after absorbing the shock. Leaf spring. It is a type of spring in which a number of ductile metal plates called leaf are arranged in a special pattern that is one over one in ascending order of their length. Leaves of the leaf spring shock absorber pre are pre-stressed such that when the shock is transferred by the wheels, these are stressed. Leaves being ductile tries to regain their original shape that is strengthened due to which shock is absorbed by the leaves. This type of shock absorber can be easily seen in trucks on the road in which leaf spring shock absorber is used in between the solid or live axle and the main frame of the vehicle. Air spring is the air spring. It is the it is the latest type of shock absorbers which can be easily seen in Volvo buses. In air spring shock absorbers, the damping of shock is a function of air compression, which means air is used as a shock absorber. Their needed for different load conditions is controlled and monitored by the electrical control unit of the vehicle. Working of suspension systems. Independent suspension. To understand the working of the independent suspension, let us take the example of the Formula car suspension, in which double Bushman with coil spring suspensions are used. In Formula cars, independent double Bushman suspensions are used in which all the four tires of the Formula car are independent to move, that is, there is no relative motion between them. Working independent suspension system. Let, sorry, Let assume that the bump is in left side of the vehicle and at the instant the front left tire comes in contact with it. When the left tire of the Formula car hits the road bump, which in turn causes front left tire to lift upward and there is no connection between the right and the left or front and the rear tires, this upward movement is only restricted to the front and left wheel. The shock produced due to this road bump is absorbed by the compression type spring and dampers used in between the wheel's knuckle and the main frame. This shock is absorbed directly or through push rods. Push rods that transfer the shock from knuckle to the damper. The stiffness of the spring and dampers used in independent double Bushman suspension is responsible for maintaining the traction of the Formula cars wheel with the road. Non-independent or dependent suspension. To understand the working of dependent type of suspension system, let us take the example of a suspension system used in a truck in India. In India, that is solid axle or live axle leaf springs leaf sorry that is solid axle or live axle having leaf springs. In trucks, independent type of suspension is used in which both the wheels of the rear and front pairs of wheels are connected with a solid axle such that the upward movement of one wheel causes a slight lift in the other. The, sorry, the, arra- sorry, the arrangement of this type of suspension is as follows. Both the front and rear pair of wheels are connected with a solid live axle over which the frame of the truck lies. Between the solid axle and frame leaf spring arrangement is used that provides the damping of the shock. Working dependent suspension system. Let us sorry let us assume sorry let us assume the sorry let us assume the bump is at the left tire of the truck. This road bump faced by the tire by this road bump faced by the sorry This road bump, faced by the left tire of the truck, tries to lift the left wheel of the truck. When this wheel lifts up due to the road bump in the solid axle attached with it also lifts off and also lifts up when the force generated by the wheel due to its upward movement is transferred to corresponding right wheel as they are both rigidly connected with the live axle, which in turn tries to lift it up slightly. The shock absorbed produced by the road bump is absorbed by the lift springs used in between the axle and the mainframe. When the truck faces a road shock, the lift springs, which are pre-stressed in a special fashion, tries to regain its original shape, that is strengthened, which in turn absorbs the road shock. The shock produced by the road bump is absorbed by the lift springs used in between the axle and the mainframe. When the truck faces a truck oh, sorry when the truck faces a road shock, the lift springs, which are pre-stressed in a special fashion, tries to regain its original shape, that is strengthened, which in turn absorbs the road shock. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. धन्यवाद. Sorry. धन्यवाद. Sorry. Sorry. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much.